Chief was ready and waiting to fire off another day's journal lesson. He took this time to reveal even more clues about our sun. The Chief, wasting no time, got right into the lesson. Remember our trip in space, how I revealed in that there is a vacuum where light is unable to shine. Therefore, the ancients used to call the sun, the black sun. Light is unable to penetrate the vacuum unless there is an opposite reflecting source, a reflecting source which is receiving the light within any basic atmosphere. It doesn't have to be much, it must have some atmosphere so the light can refract. I spent a great deal of time revealing to you how the sun is Sol Malam, the wicked one, the evil sun god, and this is his home station. From the sun, the entire solar system is projected as a holograph. Now it is time to expand on this to help you become even more aware. What I didn't reveal to you is that fiery ball we see in space is not actually the sun, it is in fact the holograph of the sun. Meaning, not only is everything in the solar system a mirrored reflection from the sun, so also is the sun mirrored. The sun itself is not really this hot ball of fusion fire, it is only the holograph of the sun. Where is the actual sun then, Chief? I am getting to that. The sun itself is what is called a power source. It is a large energy ball shaped like an orb. It is dark yellow and it is huge. This energy orb is the operating center of the entire solar system, as well as the source of the two-dimensional cosmos. Just like with any computer, it is the power plug that gives energy to the system, and it is stationed on part of the computer where everything is being operated from, as a source. The most vital component in a computer is the power supply box. Normally this power is granted via an alternate current being switched to a direct current inside the system. As the power is coming from the source A/C to D/C, it also helps maintain control for any power surges or spikes so that it will not cause any damage that could negatively affect the computer parts. Every electrical system needs a power source. When I told you before how it all works, I gave limited details so that I could later give you a deeper understanding how everything really works in Sol Malam's world. As I have always said, a little here and a little there, or else you will blow a fuse in your own power circuit supply of your mind. I couldn't help but get a hysterical laugh out of that one, and the Chief joined me as we both had a little fun with that. As the Chief continued, "Now let me explain something very important to you. The sun doesn't project a holograph of a planet into deep space. I want you to understand that this solar system is a computer-generating machine. The other planets are not external from the machine, they are part of the working machine in what is called the motherboard. The only difference is this is a fourth-dimensional motherboard. Now the power supply, aka yellow orb, allows these other working components to function. Without the initial supply, nothing would function. As an example, we see planets deep in space with our telescopes, but it is all part of the program. We also see these planets appear to be lit up by the same sun we have. We are only 93 million miles away from the sun, as that is what they want us to believe. What about planets that are billions of miles from the same sun? Do you really believe these outer planets are receiving enough light from this source to be illuminated in deep space? Then how is it working, Chief? Why do these other planets appear to be illuminated? It is because the sun is illuminating them." The Chief laughs. "Oh, come on Chief, not again with your duality jokes." "Okay Tim, the reason they are being illuminated is because they have their own source within, and guess what that source is? Do they have a smaller sun inside of them? No, it is the sun itself." "Wait a minute Chief, you just got done saying." The Chief interrupted. "Try to stay with me. The sun is the power source for the entire solar system as well as the two-dimensional universe. So, if the sun is the power source, then where is the power coming from to illuminate those planets? Obviously, the sun, but I am a bit confused. Think about it this way. Take a light bulb that is turned on. The bulb is producing light, but obviously, the light source is not coming from the bulb, correct? Shaking my head to the affirmative while still being rather confused, when you replace that light bulb, let's say over your kitchen sink, what do you need to get? A new light bulb. Then you take the new light bulb and replace the old one. Now the new light bulb is set where the old light bulb was set. Is it also now shining brightly like the old one prior? If you turned the switch on, it should illuminate the room like the other one. What did you say? It should Chief interrupts. No, what did you say first? If you turned the switch on. Perfect, now is the switch the light bulb itself? No, the switch turns the power on so the bulb. Ah, I see what you mean. What's that, Tim? The switch is the medium that turns on the power so the light bulb can shine. Without the power, there is no light. And where does the power originate? From the power supply box, or what we call the fuse box. Exactly, the fuse box is just the intermediary between the power supply and the actual switch so that you can control how much power the system calls for, such as a fuse, or AC into DC. Nonetheless, we realize that the switch itself must be connected to the power supply to bring power into the light to shine brightly, correct? Absolutely, Chief. Therefore, the light bulb is not the source of light, but a medium sent from the actual power source to produce the light. And even though the light is shining from the bulb, this would not be the source of the light. And if the light bulb is, let's say, 100 feet from the source, it is the source that is using some sort of direct line to allow the light bulb to become the proxy of the source. Therefore, planets and all things within the body of a solar system are simply the representation that originates from the orb of power. Now when we consider space and we see the sun, shining brightly in the noonday sky, is that the source of the power? Evidently not, Chief. The power is coming from somewhere else. The sun is just a proxy light bulb. Very well said. Then, Chief, if there is a power source as you say, where is it? The solar generator orb is hiding behind the sun in direct proportion of where the sun goes. The orb also follows. So, we can never see the power supply orb, right? Not unless someone wants you to see it and they allow it to come from behind the holographic sun, to say peekaboo. Trying to find another question in my mind, I began to wonder about some things. Such as, if the solar system is a machine, does that mean we are on the inside of a machine? Of course, Tim, that is exactly what it means. Now let's look at this another way. If you are interacting with a simulation artificial reality, what part of you is actually interacting? The mind. Of course, it is the mind. Then where is your source of the mind located? It is with the soul, which is sleeping, right? Yes, that is correct. Now, as your mind is interacting with the simulation, are you on the inside of the simulated program or the outside? I guess it would be the inside. Okay, then you have just revealed your own answer. We are interactive agents inside of a simulation where our minds are being fed this illusory realm, and all of it is coming from the power supply, which is the yellow orb. Say again. The object in space behind the sun, which gives all power to the universe. One more time, Tim. Ah, oh. I see. The power supply is Soul Malum. Fantastic, and what does that tell you? We are inside of Soul Malum. Not really, we are the construct of his mind. Therefore, everything in the universe is coming from his mind. We are simply components in his computer software system that he designed as blueprints, all from his mind. And while we are sleeping, we are locked within the template of the polarity knowledge, which is how his mind functions, one being good and one being evil. As we awaken, we begin to recognize the knowledge of what the two polar rods are. It is power to choose. We then begin to ascertain that we have the right to choose. Just as the sun shines brightly during the day, and at night the darkness of the counter-personality as the moon begins to rise as the diabolis of the night. If you choose the light of the sun, you have Soul Malum, the light bringer, that which is the power supply, and if you choose the night of the moon, you have the diabolis, but it is also part of the same power supply. But Chief, something is wrong with this. Both choices lead us back to the wrong source. My friend, that is the game we are locked inside of. It is a game we cannot win. It is the old mafioso saying, I have a deal you cannot refuse. No matter where we turn, we end up getting the same thing. Now you can understand that the awakening is much more different than most would ever comprehend. And that is why the time loop takes everyone for repeat trips, continually. There is no way to win the game by following Soul Malum's terms. There is no way to outsmart Soul Malum, since he is the creator, designer, player, and the mind, in a game that is predetermined in making sure that Soul Malum always wins. As I have said time and time again, there is only one way to awaken, and that is to take up the Panem Vitae given to us directly from the Kael Ustis Pater. Once you have eaten the Panem Vitae, you will realize there are no winners in this game, and you simply stop playing. Do you remember the movie that came out in 1983 called War Games? Yes, I do. I just saw that movie not long ago on a VHS tape. It was a very interesting movie where a computer was playing a live game of thermonuclear war. No one realized it at first that it was getting ready to launch real live missiles. Finally, when they realized it, they tried doing simulations to see what it would take to win the game. And what was the conclusion? There were no winners. And what was said at the end of the movie? Oh, I believe it said, let's play another game, like tic-tac-toe. Yeah, but who was running the computer simulation? Ah, I believe it was the computer programmer who implemented his son's name as the password. And what was his name? It was Joshua, if I remember correctly. Did you know Joshua is another name for Jeshua, and Jeshua is the name of the Son of the Father, often referred to as Jesus of the Bible? Wow, what does this mean then? In this case, it means that Joshua was the mind of Soul Malum coming across as the Son/Son, as God, or the total power source and supplier of this game. When Joshua of the movie was forced to play out his own game repeatedly, he finally came to the realization, the only winning move is to not play the game. Ironically, one of the lost books of John, whom as a disciple of Jesus, referred to the God of old as being a mindless, Jesus called him basically, for no other better term, insane. It simply refers to the fact that Soul Malum has authored a game that no one can win, not even him. And that is the final answer to this thesis. We must stop playing a game we cannot win, no matter how many attempts, tries, or changes we think we need to make. The game is unwinnable. It is a con game. And the word con comes from contrary, meaning enmity, that which is alien. So then, Chief, the orb of light is the power source Soul Malam uses to operate this program, and it is set right behind the sun so we cannot see the actual power source. Is this correct then? Actually no. Soul Malam isn't using the orb as a source of power to operate the program. He isn't. Tim, Soul Malam is the energy orb of light. Let me try to explain it this way. We have spoken about ghosts in our journeys, and we have spoken about spirits. In the higher dimensional worlds, spirits do not have form, as in type like humanoid bodies. They can use form, they can exist within form. Yet they themselves are formless beings. When spirits or ghosts are discovered, oftentimes they take their real shape within the unseen world. Their shape is a light energy, orb. Often this energy is an orb or ball of light. Therefore, Soul Malam is not using an orb to sustain the program, he is the orb. He is a spirit entity play acting as the creator and God who sits in the heavens ruling over mankind as the all-seeing eye. And this is his real shape when anyone sees him or any spirit from the unseen world witnesses him. And until he enters a body at the end of the program, which is the eternal beginning of the time loop, it is then he resets it all for 1080 years, and starts all over again, perpetually. Chief, what is he trying to prove? Soul Malam is the power source of this realm, and he has kidnapped others to be part of his own mental concept. Soul Malam is the computer program created by his orb, or spirit mind. Soon, someone very important will come along in their awakening, and will verify this code, and begin to reveal this amazing clue unto others. In fact, by the time this is read and exposed, this evidence will have already been revealed. Nevertheless, for your own personal awakening, you need to know this now. May I ask one more question? Certainly. You have said earlier we are actually in crystal cages filled with some sort of liquid while we are sleeping and being monitored by Soul Malam and his agents. That is correct. What really are these cages? I mean, what are they really? Tim, do you have a sense that you already know? Yes, but I need to hear it come from you so I don't sound like I am a raving lunatic. Well, here it goes. Tim, these cages are embryonic tubes that are linked to Soul Malam as a child is linked to their mother in the womb. Soul Malam is trying to birth a new race of beings that will become like him, and then he plans on getting rid of the rest of the gods when he is confident he has molded his new race of children to rule together for all eternity, but always worshipping and praising Soul Malam. Why is he trying to get rid of the other gods? Because he doesn't trust them. He is very jealous and he is constantly worried that one of them might try to overthrow him. It is likened unto the Kael Ustis Pater, who is the Divine Father. We are his children, but Soul Malam has kidnapped us away from our true father and mother to become like him. But, wouldn't his new created children also try to subvert his power and authority and take him over too? Tim, you have misunderstood. Soul Malam is not making us individuals. He is trying to reformat all of us to become one body and mind, as a hive-minded creature. He will be the queen bee, and all the rest will be the worker drones who only serve his every thought, will and motivation. He is trying to convert us to become the cells of his membrane. There won't be any betrayers, there won't be any concept or desire to overthrow. These new creatures who all become one, will all become identical to him, as likened unto the body who serves the will of the brain. Oh, my God. So, the orb is the brain and we are all parts of the body. Yes, the souls that are locked into these crystal cages filled with liquid are already part of his body, and his orb is the brain that is the foundation of everything in this simulated world, giving off the illusion that we are being controlled from the interior, but all of it is the exterior, where the orb is sending message signals into the many cages, guiding and leading via his will. The only thing he cannot control is the inner soul, which is asleep, and that is where the Kael Estes Pater lives, where also we will be awakened from within. Is soul Malum trying to give birth to each of us, or are we to be born as one conglomerate, strange weird body that is all united? Again, you have partially misunderstood. Soul Malum is not giving birth to anyone, he is only using the process of birth to create his weird concoction. Those cages are our eternal destination, damnation, and fate, if we do not awaken. It is our eternal death. His control over us is permanent if we cannot leave these cages of his mind.